juntando cartón aquí. ¿Cuántos años tengo? Entré de 15 años, como de 15, 14 años. Y tengo 57. Tengo como 46 años. Yo entré mucho primero que mi mamá. Mi papá era cartonero, que en paz descanse. Entonces, haz de cuenta que siempre traía a mamá, pero ella la traía para allá, para las orillas.
I thought this was a really brilliant piece. I appreciate that we got to meet them, especially her in the act of doing this finding of cardboard. It created an intimacy and an understanding of the physical labor required for it, and also how she's a hustler, a hustler to find the ability to pay the bills. And I think that there was a really interesting commentary on the American dream and on survival and on wealth disparity. And I also love the collaging effect of it. Created a nice kind of artsy, raw kind of image to it, a nice collaging effect, which made sense with like the arts and crafts nature of essentially what they're doing and piecing together a life.
I think that it's really great that this piece explores both the socioeconomic as well as environmental issues pertaining to this cardboard, right? Because the act of the collection that this married couple does is due to a socioeconomic need, but it's also motivated by an environmental need to reduce the destruction of trees. So I think that this is just another great example of how our socio economy intertwines and is directly impacted by the environmental choices that we make. And politics, the legislations, the policies on environmental issues, but as well as immigration and job security. These are all things that end up having this kind of symbiotic relationship with one another. And that is what's so articulately displayed here.
This environmental cause was something that I wasn't aware of. I did not know that so much of the paper industry relied on these scavengers in Mexico. I thought it was really cool that Chole saw this as an environmental cause, that she was doing it because she was not just to earn a living for herself, but because it was saving the trees and it prevented more trees from being cut down and used for paper. And the fact that she could do this and protect the environment in this way is awesome. And the fact that individual people like this in Mexico are what is holding the paper industry up. Something that I wasn't aware of, but I thought that was really, really cool. It really goes to show just how much one person can do to protect the environment. So I really enjoyed this perspective, and I enjoyed learning about this practice from Chole and just seeing how hard she worked and how hard she's worked for over 40 years.
I loved what these two individuals are trying to bring across to the world, and in this short documentary, I love how they've dedicated so many years of their lives to hunting down cardboard boxes in order to save the world. And as they've mentioned, if they can find as many cardboard boxes as they can, then there will be no need to cut down the trees in nature, which ends up killing us all if they do cut down the trees in the end. I love that this was a very different take and a very unique take on the saving the planet agenda, and how these small things like this can really make a difference in the world. And with this documentary, I believe it shines a bright light on a great or devastating future ahead for us.
It's very fascinating to learn about this this occupation that she and her husband have of scavenging for cardboard, and they're supplying raw material to industry and helping the environment, and very committed, doing it over 40 years. It was really interesting at the end when it said that scavengers have been essential to the paper trade for 4 centuries. So yeah, that's wild. Blew my mind to learn that. but this was a very fascinating piece. Great job on it. She did a wonderful job explaining everything about it, and did a great job.
She does this for survival. It's also an environmental effort so that they don't have to tear down trees in Mexico if they have the right materials already. And it's not an option for her to just collect the materials in Mexico, because what she says is like basically everybody in Mexico is poor. So everybody's collecting the cardboard, everybody's selling the cardboard. She's not just going to be able to go to a store or find it on the side of the street where they'll just give it to her. So to me, I think that makes like a huge statement on poverty and what people do to survive. The entire video was engaging and informative. It taught me about something that I had no idea about before. I was totally unaware that people were doing this, and that this was, something that's helping the environment. It also makes a statement on the American dream and those impacts to the environment.
The topic, the theme of this short is pretty important ecologically, because it helps us to understand why it's important to reuse or find another way to use the existing materials for other purposes. And this one is short and concise, so we got to understand like the story of the people and the theme pretty well.